What's going on, everybody? What is going on? It is it is Wednesday. I was about to say Thursday. It is Wednesday, January 14th, 2026, and we are back with another live here on the Tori and Rain Reloaded channel. If you have not done so already, please be sure to go ahead and hit the like button, hit the share button, hit the subscribe button if you are new. And if you are new to the channel, I'm glad that you are here. Hit the bell twice to be notified whenever I upload a new video or go live, or join the Discord, and you should receive the notifications in there. And speaking of the Discord, quite a few people have joined the Discord today. I actually had posted the link in my community tab, I think sometime this morning, and I think about 6 people joined today. So shout out to each and every one of you. Also, while we're shouting people out, shout out to all the members, all the mods, and everybody over there on Patreon. I appreciate you all. So we got a couple of things that we're going to go over today, but before we get into all of that, let me acknowledge those who came in earlier or those who are just coming into the chat now, such as Mansa Musa, who was here since I made this public screen up last night. He was there since 11:21 p.m. Shout out to Mansa Musa. We got Fireback, Lana L, Andrea Jones, 619 Christian, Jelena, Dimpleface, Reparations Nations, Mika 40, SD Johnson, Hurricane Nisi, Wallow J, One Black Rose, Dark Titan X. Is that I Williams or L Williams 2824? I'm not sure. The Atavist, Jonathan, Gamers Den, Mika 40. You said you like this beat. You know what? That song is one that I typically overlook when it comes to playing my intros. But I said, let me play it a little bit before I decide to let that be the intro beat for today's live. And I said, wait a minute, I've been sleeping on this one. And it's crazy because I downloaded it, so I had to have heard it. But it's like when I download something, I only listen to maybe like the first 20 seconds of it to get a vibe for it, to see if I'm going to download the song or not. But it actually pretty dope though, and I'll probably continue using it going forward. We got Jago the Rogue. Let's see. Who else we got? Anita Harrell, Don P. Joseph, he said he just got off work. Oh, hey, perfect timing. We got Mad Dog Williams, Dewani AW1, Diasporan, Denise Bowler, and Dre 123. You said what happened to the banjo for the Bed Bucking Hall of Shame? Well, let me put it. Let me put it to you like this. Whenever I'm doing a Bed Bucking Hall of Shame where I'm reacting to a video, like a reaction, I typically leave the song out of it because sometimes that can overpower the reaction of the video. Now, if it's based off of a video that's that I'm just talking about, or like say a commentary that I'm talking about, or something somebody said, then I'll put the song in there. But if it's a reaction style video, I won't have the music in there. And it's funny you mentioned that because there actually is a Blacaren Hall of Shame video coming on Friday. And it's a new entry. It's going to be on somebody that none of you have ever heard of. But I think this person is trying to claw their way somewhere. It ain't going to be to the top, I'll tell you that much. Not with the lane they're trying to go down. I'll put it like that. But you'll hear it again on Friday. But it's been a lot going on in these last couple of days, y'all. It's hard to keep up. It is hard. I mean, between what I'm going to be talking about this evening, then you had Pearl and her that lackluster debate that she did with Anna Kasparian. And I watched some of it, and it was absolutely atrocious. But I found myself cracking up at the same time. Then, of course, you happened with last night on 5150 with Corey Holcomb and Anton Daniels. I mean, all of this seemed to happen all within this week. And it's only Wednesday. It's only Wednesday. We still got tomorrow and Friday as far as the work week goes. Who knows what's going to happen between tomorrow and Friday, between now and then, because something else could pop off. It's like I said, it's just a lot. It's a lot going on, and it's very hard to keep up. But yeah, we're gonna talk about this this discussion that Tucker Carlson and James Fishback had, and as you probably don't know, or maybe not know, James Fishback is running for governor down there in Florida, and he's going up against Byron Donalds. But we're also going to talk about the feedback that some people gave as it pertained to this discussion, because some people, it's like they heard one thing completely different than what we heard, or they heard what they wanted to hear. So with that being said, let me go ahead now and share my screen, and we're going to go into it. Now, we're only going to go over the part that is pertaining to the topic of discussion. We're not going to go over the entire interview that Tucker Carlson had with James Fishback, because we don't need to listen to the whole thing. It's on the part that we're listening to is about, let me see, how long is this part? It's about a little under 10 minutes. And I sped it up a little bit for the sake of time.
How has he responded to AIPAC, Shakur?
Well, his campaign called me racist. Not for that comment, but because I called him a slave to his donors.
Yeah.
And I said, with all due respect, I'll stop calling you a slave if you give the money back. The $45 million you gave to your donor, that your donors gave you.
$45 million?
$45 million in a primary that was uncontested until 5 weeks ago.
Oh, no way.
$45 million in an uncontested primary until 5 weeks ago, until I entered.
And that was all to encourage him to make Florida better?
Apparently. And his idea of making...
You know what, let me speed past this part because they're not talking about it right there. I'm trying to get to the part where they really talk about the what we're here for. Because they did have like a little bit of dialogue before then, but it is in this section. Let me see.
With you.
Yeah.
I don't care what you call yourself.
That's so I can vote for you in the primary. Because just like South Carolina, I know you had Paul
providing...
still endorses Randy Fine's...
I've always gotten along with him. He's...
thing you need to know about my opponent, Byron Donalds.
I think it's right here.
What I know Byron, and I've always gotten along with him. He's super cheerful. I didn't realize, is he ideological? I've never detected that.
No. That's why I call him a slave.
Yeah. And they called you a racist for that?
They did. Which is actually quite interesting because I got a call from the Foundational Black American Society here in Florida.
Okay, let's stop right there. Immediate red flag should have went up for people when James Fishback said he got a call from the Foundational Black American Society in Florida. Since when was FBA ever known or seen as a society? We've never called ourselves a society. So I'm trying to figure out, who was this person that allegedly called him? I need a name and a face. And you know why we're probably not going to get either of them? Because this person doesn't exist. He said he got a call from a member of the Foundational Black American Society, as if it's some kind of group or organization. I don't know how people heard that and took it and ran with it to be something completely left field. Unless y'all were waiting for a shoe to drop like this. I honestly wouldn't have believed him if he said he got a call from somebody in Florida who's FBA. But the fact that he said Foundational Black American Society, that right there was my first red flag. Let's continue.
Who reminded me that Byron's mother is Jamaican, he is Panamanian, and they found it quite insulting, in their words, that he would try to claim victimhood of slavery without a single descendant of American slaves in his family.
I like those foundational guys.
They're so good.
Tariq Nasheed and all. I mean, I don't agree with everything, but like
Now listen to what Tucker just said. I like those foundational guys. So you have James Fishback, who said he got a call from someone in Florida of the Foundational Black American Society that doesn't exist. Then you have Tucker Carlson say, ha, 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 ha. I like those foundational guys. Foundational guys? See what they're doing? They're trying to not only co-opt it, but they're trying to remix it as well, because neither one of those are who we are. We're not a society, and we're not those foundational guys. But these are the same people that if you labeled them incorrectly, they'll be ready to go on a whole Twitter rant. I've always told people like Tucker Carlson and this James Fishback guy are not to be trusted. I have done so many videos over the years on Tucker Carlson, it don't make any sense. Going back to when he used to be on Fox News, up until all the way past the time when he was kicked out of Fox News.
They've got a perspective. If your family's been here 400.
And by the way, you know, like remember years ago, Tariq did an interview on Tucker Carlson's show. I think it was the one time he was on there, and him and Tucker was going back and forth. You know, Tucker being his disingenuous self. If you don't believe me, I'm sure the interview is probably still somewhere floating on the internet.
100 years.
And by the way, sorry to keep pausing it. If y'all didn't know, it's interesting that James Fishback is talking about, or he mentioned the word tether when it came to Byron Donalds, which he is one. But James Fishback is a tether himself. In case y'all didn't know, James Fishback's parents, or at least one of them, is Colombian. Yeah. Now, I don't know if he was born in Colombia and migrated to the States, or if he's first generation born and his parents migrated here and had him here, making him an anchor baby. So as far as I'm concerned, this is a tether on tether conflict.
And the descendants of a lot of American slaves or families have been here 400 years. I don't know. I think that gives, I'll listen to you. Like you've
100%.
got, you know, you've got a point of view that is legitimate, I think.
Yeah.
And he said, no, also, when I also tell you, pay attention to tone, like listen to the condescending tone that Tucker Carlson is even saying. He said, sure, you know, you've had lineage that's been here for 400 plus years. I'm sure I'll listen to you, I suppose. Translation, he ain't listening. And I don't want him to either. I don't know what a conversation with, like hypothetically saying, a conversation with myself and Tucker Carlson would even sound like. I honestly don't.
They're unequivocally heritage Americans.
There it is. Red flag number 3. Hence the title in the thumbnail where it says Heritage Americans, and I'm asking it in the form of a question. James Fishback went from saying foundational Black American society to heritage Americans. When I first heard this clip, the first thing that popped up in my head was the Heritage Foundation. Now, for those of y'all who don't know what the Heritage Foundation is, that is a staunch right-leaning anti-Black think tank. Think of the Manhattan Institute that's ran by Christopher Rufo. If y'all don't know who Christopher Rufo is, look at some of Professor Black Truth's video. He talks about Christopher Rufo all the time, or at least at one point. He hasn't talked about him in a while, but there's times when he was talking about him consistently. He is another one of those staunch anti-Black individuals. And he runs, or at least has a very high position in the Manhattan Institute. But when he said heritage Americans, that just sounds like something that is very PC. I don't think any Black American would call themselves heritage Americans. See how they're trying to rename and remix us? Trying to give us a label that's palatable for them. Lana said it sounds stolen. It does sound very colonizer-ish. Heritage Americans. If you don't go somewhere with that,
that's for sure.
100%.
They're definitely heritage Americans, if anyone is. And, you know, someone rolls in from Ghana and, like, you know, gets an MSNBC slot and starts telling, you know, speaking on behalf of Black people. It's like, shut up, honey. You've got nothing to do with this.
Right.
That's
Literally.
a fair perspective,
Right.
I think.
And see, that part right there that just happened, there are people that are unfortunately online looking at this and thinking that we are so happy that Tucker Carlson acknowledged us, quote unquote. When I listen to me, when I tell you this, we are not, well, I can only speak for myself. I am not jumping up and down and going outside to throw a parade because Tucker Carlson, quote unquote, acknowledged us and didn't even really technically acknowledge us, if you want to be honest, because he never said FBA. He said foundational guys and agreed when James said heritage Americans. Because let me tell you something right now. There's one thing that James, well, I don't know what his leaning is on this, but it might be the same. Well, there's one thing that Tucker Carlson and Byron Donalds have in common when it comes to us. Both of them are against reparations. And as far as I'm concerned, if you are against reparations, even if you are due for a check that can be cut for you, meaning you're part of the lineage, you are an op too. I wouldn't be surprised if James felt the same way.
It's good to actually see them call them out for that. That's actually cultural appropriation. Appropriating the struggle of slavery.
I totally agree.
And the struggle of slavery was real. I don't think Republicans ever want to really whitewash that. It's real.
No.
Oh, yes, they do. Yes, they do. As far as I'm concerned, this is an interview that is being conducted with two clowns. One's driving the car and the other's in the passenger seat.
Right? But for
we're
Byron,
against slavery.
We're against it.
Whether it's in the, West Bank or here or anywhere.
Or anywhere.
Yeah, against it.
And so for Byron's group, his team, to call me and essentially our entire supporting base racists for saying that you're a slave when quite literally you took $45 million. You won't tell us what you agreed to take that money this early in a primary, which is unprecedented. You know this, how unprecedented that kind of money is in an uncontested primary until now. But secondarily, to actually go out and try to gaslight us and think that you're just one of those guys that has been here, since the early 1800s and your family was in the struggle too. You're not. And
the thing about it is, and this is something that we got to understand. We were calling out Byron Donalds way before we knew what James Fishback was. We have been talking about Byron off-code Donalds for a while now, before we knew who a James Fishback was. So don't get excited and say, oh my God, finally someone who has a platform is calling out Byron Donalds. No, to make it seem like we're going to give him the credit. Nope. We've been calling him out. And and of course, he's received wake-up calls. He's received them. But he continues to go along to get along. But that's pretty much the end of that. It starts to go into something else. But now I want to transition over to this. Hold on, y'all. Let me make my screen full. But before I do that, shout out to Ant CEO on his channel. I didn't get a chance to watch his live in its entirety when he was reacting to this, but he had actually cut it and he made it into a separate video where he was reacting to a video that Antonio Speaks had did. Now, as y'all know, I had Antonio on my channel back in October. Like, I did a live with him. It was a collab live back in October. And, for the most part, I've agreed with the stuff that he's had to say. But this time, I just could not bring myself to agree with what he was saying as it pertains to, hold on, y'all, as it pertains to what we had going on. Hold on, y'all. This thing is acting funny. Now, unfortunately, I can't show the video that Antonio did because he ended up taking the video down. Antonio, can y'all hear me? All right. But he took the video down, unfortunately, so I can't react to that video that he posted. But he posted a follow-up today, and it's this one right here. But what was so funny is that when I was watching CEO's video, while he was literally in the middle of reacting to his video, it said video gone or video unavailable or something like that. He ended up removing the video right in the middle of him reacting to the video that Antonio had posted. And then that's when we found out he removed it. For those of y'all in my Discord, I actually posted the video, and then somebody in the Discord came back and said he must have removed it. And sure enough, he did. So unfortunately, I won't be able to react to that video. If I would have known that was going to happen, I would have downloaded the video and we would have reacted to it. But he posted a follow-up, like a video, which is this one right here. And we're going to watch this and see what he's talking about. Because I'm going to be honest with you. Like, I have, I told y'all that I like his content, but with that video right there, I knew just by the title alone what was going to come from that, what the comment section was going to look like, and it didn't disappoint. And for those of y'all who didn't know, I think the title of the video was called The FBA to Alt-Right Pipeline. And I said, when I saw the title, I was like, whoa. What is going on here? Where is this coming from? And Mansa Musa, I have to give a shout out to you, because if y'all remember the live that I did on Monday, Mansa Musa came up when he was coming on the panel. He was kind of speaking in code a little bit about something that I posted in the Discord. That was the video we were talking about. But he didn't want to say the name unless, of course, I came on to talk about it. Appreciate you, KG. But yeah, I was so taken aback just by the title. Like, that was weird. That was a wild title to have. But anyway, I just wanted to give y'all that overview. So now we're gonna go ahead and watch this. Like I said, this is a brand new video. I only watched a little bit of it, not the entire thing. So we're gonna go ahead and check this out now and see what he's talking about. This one is called The Diaspora and Pro-Blackness. Yeah, Katrina, I saw that. The other person that happened to was Young Don, because Young Don was reacting to that video, and then when Ant CEO could try to finish the reaction. But then what happened was, when he was reacting to that video, that one got removed. So Young Don removed his video of him reacting to Antonio's video. It was wild. If y'all don't believe me, just go to Ant CEO's page and just scroll down. You don't have to scroll down that far. It's probably like the second or third video, and just watch it and you'll see what'll happen in real time. But let me go ahead and just play this video and see what's going on.
So your boy in the hot seat right now, man. A lot of folks mad at me. 2 days ago, I dropped a video called The FBA to Alt-Right Pipeline. If y'all know anything about me, man, I'm very outspoken. I just speak on anything, and I really could care less about the backlash. But I ended up deleting this video for 2 reasons. For one, I had some misinformation in there. I want to correct myself. FBA is not a group. It's a lineage that I'm a part of. And for two, like I say, the goal of my channel is not to bring too much divisiveness. Now, y'all, I just find it funny because I speak out against everybody. White folks, raccoons, non-black people that talk out about us. But the moment
I have to pause it right there when he said he had to delete it for 2 reasons. And the first one was he had some misinformation in there. Antonio, got respect for you, but you had more than just some misinformation. Like I said, the title alone was very, very offensive. And you got to think, he has a platform where he can garner a lot of views. Like, every video that Antonio puts up is always going to do a lot of views. For some of y'all who may or may not know, whatever he talks about is going to garner views. The algorithm works very good in his favor. You put something out there like that, it's going to trigger something either to the people that it's offending or the people that's going to love it. Because when I was looking in the comments, you had people that was going at him, but you also had people in the comment section that was agreeing with it, who already didn't like FBA as it is, but they just needed to latch on to someone who could articulate their talking points. This was no different than how the white supremacists use a shield to be their mouthpiece. And that's why when you say you had some misinformation there, that means you jumped on this topic immediately to catch on to something that was trending. That's why whenever I do my commentaries, some of y'all something could happen today and I might not talk about it to next week because I like to wait and see if the other shoe is going to drop, if there's any updates. That way I'm not constantly doing update videos all over the place. I'll usually let some time pass, especially if it's a breaking news story. That way I can garner as much information as I can at that time and then put it out there. And if there's something that needs to be added on, I'll add it on. But to leap out there immediately and say that, especially when you have an FBA parent yourself, for y'all, those who don't know, he has one FBA parent and one Jamaican parent. He's already disclosed this. To jump out there immediately and say that, especially when you look at the commentary he's done in the past where he seems very well researched, but this is the one you leap out and kind of do a nosedive into shallow waters, was crazy. I think that was the other part, because that could have been avoided. All right, so let's go ahead and
I call out some BS within other Black Americans. By a Black American, it's a problem. You know the crazy thing, y'all? I got a video I dropped a month ago, literally calling out the anti-Black rhetoric from Africans and other Black folks. Like, I call out, it's not just one-sided with me. And ever since the FBA term came out, I've always looked at it sideways. I never could really get down with it. Because as a pro-Black person, I consider myself pro-Black. I'm pro every Black person. That's literally what it is. I don't care. So
he just said it right there. He said when he first heard the FBA term, he couldn't fully rock with it because he was pro-Black everything. Well, this goes back to what Issa Rae has said on that red carpet one time when she says, I'm rooting for everybody Black. The thing is everybody Black rooting for you? Because the thing is, it's very childlike to want to love everybody in hopes that everyone loves you back. It's cute when you're a kid, but when you get out into the real world and get into reality, you start to see that there are going to be some turncoats. There are going to be some backstabbers. Listen, one of my favorite songs from the 70s is Backstabbers, because not only is it a good song and has a good message, but it's a good song and a good hook, but it has a great message because it's so true. In reality, you cannot love everybody. It's impossible. It is virtually impossible. There's always going to be conflict, and that's fine, because at the end of the day, we're not perfect. We're human. We are flawed beings. It seems like ever since we started to do the whole delineation thing, that's when the fangs came out. Everything was fine when we was, like living under one banner. But then when we started to see the forest from the trees, then that's when everybody wanted to come on the attack. All we're doing is we're defending our tribe. That's it. Just like every other group is allowed to do, we're doing it too. It's called drawing a line in the sand. That's what we're doing.
What country you from, bro? If you melanated, I'm gonna root for you. And maybe this is a flaw within myself, but that's just how I'm rooted in, and that's just, I want to see every Black person win. I wanted to just address that, but today let's talk about pro-Blackness and what it really means to be pro-Black.
I hate the term pro-Black because I never heard of a pro-Mexican or pro-Jew. This is how messed up we are. But
that's a fact, bro. Yesterday, me and my wifey, bro, we was watching this prison show, and in this prison show, it was very like racially segregated. It had a lot of racial politics. Now, it was in Arizona, so the Black population there wasn't that big. But what I noticed was that the other racial groups, they were very it was just intuitive for them to do this type of thing. It was the whites, the Hispanics, and the Blacks. The whites were very deep. They were very together. The Hispanics as well. And I just see this emulated in real life all the time. Like, even when we go to certain Asian markets or Asian hair stores, like, you notice that they're all in there employing their own. If they do have some Black people, it's like very minute jobs. I feel like as Black people, if we were to just do this same thing the way other races do it, we would be much further. And like I said, like in this,
we have done that. Shoot, if you look hard enough, it's still being done. But we all know the history there. We know what happened. And that was a discouraging tactic. And unfortunately, it worked. It discouraged all the way straight into integration. That's why I don't like this narrative that people think that Black people aren't unified like that. Because the thing of the matter is, we always get hit with this thing of, oh, we're not unified, or we're this and we're that. When the thing is, that can be applied to any group. A lot of the things that they try to apply to only Black people can be applied to any group, especially when it comes down to crime. And I got a video coming about that soon. So be on the lookout for that.
Video, you don't hear pro-Mexican, pro-Jew. Like, those things are just intuitive in them. So let them finish talking, man.
For you to have to define a Black person as pro-Black, do you know what that means? That automatically means by contraindication that most Black people are anti-Black. If I walk in and you say he's pro-Black, because this is what people say when they see me.
And another thing, I would not have, in my opinion, I would not have used Umar as a point of contention.
There'd be 1,000 Blacks. He's pro-Black. Do you know what you're saying about everybody else in here? They're fucking coons. Do you see what I'm saying? Yeah. We're the only people, we're the people who are for us are the minority. Think about that. You have to describe people who care about Black people as pro-Black. No other group has to do that. And it speaks to how much most of us are.
So Umar must not be seeing what they be talking about online. We got them people up there talking about they will not replace us and talking about white guilt.
Anti ourselves.
Now, Dr. Umar, he be spitting. I know he got a lot of allegations as far as him scamming people with his school nonsense, but if we just talking about him and his talking points, man, he be on it.
You cannot be pro-Black and anti-ghetto Black people, bro.
I remember when I first...
Hey, starting off with the facts. I feel that sentiment wholeheartedly. Like I say, bro, to be pro-Black, I feel like you have to accept all Blackness. And even just the term ghetto, like I feel like it feeds into the respectability politics of things. So, man, I'm accepting everybody.
Into activism, I was dealing with the sisters who had the fros and the girls who wore the head wraps and the big wooden jewelry and the brother Hanifs and the brother Hakeems. And I was trying to do my own thing, right? But I was the type of girl who wore wigs. And sometimes the wigs were outrageous colors. And so they would tell me things like, you know, maybe people won't take you seriously because you're wearing a wig, but preaching pro-Black, right? And it was in that moment that I realized, if you're not riding for the girl.
And one thing I also have a problem with is, say that you have something going on. Are you going to be for the, and you have someone who's in your ranks that does something to usurp something that's going to affect the collective in a great way? Are you supposed to be pro that person if we're going to accept everybody? Because I know that ain't happening over here. We got something good going on, and you got one or two people that want to derive from that and try to not only do their own thing, but in the process usurp what the collective has going on, because they may have a disagreement. So you have a disagreement that's supposed to affect, now everyone else is affected because your feelings is hurt. No.
Who's rocking the pink and blue 30-inch bust down with the middle part, okay? Walking down the street with the bonnet on the top of that middle part, then you're not riding for none of us.
It's called being on code. And for some odd reason, some people don't know what that is. I don't know. Listen, we 14 days into 2026 and we already got to do the straightening thing.
Because you're acting like a Black person is supposed to be subjected to acting a specific kind of way. And Black people are not a monolith.
Now, another topic to talk about, man, is pro-Blackness and homophobia. This is a big one, man. I want to say, man, growing up, I was never homophobic, but it was just like my environment shaped me. If it was a brother doing something out of the ordinary, niggas would be like, you gay, bro? And it was kind of like an insult. But as I got older, man, I just started looking at it like, why the f do we care if this nigga like boys or not? It's really not my business. Homophobia is childish. You know what I'm saying? You don't have to be overly cool with gay people, but also why you hate them? You know, it's all
And Tony, I got to stop you there. Are you trying to do the talking point of Black people being the most homophobic? Because we know where that talking point comes from. It's crazy. They say that now or all the time, but I always say that we're not the policymakers to affect them. It's like every time there's a policy that affects people in the academy, it's usually a white face that's signing the paper. They got the pen in one hand and they're head hovering over the document and they're signing something away. Like I said, we're 4 minutes and 27 seconds in. This is not in my opinion, not a good follow-up video to the one he deleted. Wallo, I'm glad you said that. Obama, he literally gave the academy so many rights in his second term. So many. A lot, in fact. I mean, so much legislation got passed under his second term.
Man, I love everybody. Your sexuality doesn't matter, man. If you down for the cause, you down for the cause. Big shout out to James Baldwin. He was a huge leader in, the civil rights movement. He gay as hell. You know what I'm saying? People loved him. Angela Davis, you know what I'm saying? They love throwing her picture of her with the afro. You know what I'm saying? She get down like that. So it's
But look at the people that you just mentioned. You mentioned James Baldwin and Angela Davis. The people that are of right now are not on their level. They were for their people, especially James Baldwin. A lot of the ones today are for their sexual orientation, which encompasses not just only Black people, but also the South of the Borderian, definitely white people, Asian, Native, anybody under that rainbow flag. And don't get me started on Amir Odom.
It's just funny to me that we got to do that in the Black community when we got way bigger fish to fry. You know what I'm saying? But look, I got to say this to all my gay folks watching. No matter how gay you are, you always got to say pause, okay? So if you say some question, just say pause. It's just culture at this point, all right? I say pause all the time. Y'all know I love y'all, man.
Being Black and homophobic is like the most contradicting thing you can be, bro. Because it's like you being Black in America, you're a big target for racism. You're oppressed, systematic oppression, all this shit, right?
Tom Petty, you got a good point there. Yeah. I would say Angela did kind of, it's kind of shit on shaky ground with her. But Joseph said, does he ever bring up Greg? No, you know what? I've never heard him bring him up. Marcel is a perfect example of a modern one, but he doesn't get talked about in those circles because he's like someone said, like he's like James Baldwin. He doesn't go around waving the flag. He's for his people first, and by people, I'm talking about Black Americans. That's why we don't have an issue with him.
Right? You're oppressed, and you hate other people who are oppressed. Yeah, my nigga, you smart. Like, nigga, no, the fuck you not. Bro, that's like hating your inmate for doing the same crime as you. Nigga, y'all both in jail. Fuck you hate him for, my nigga? That makes no sense.
But see, the thing that they kept trying to do is because the reason why they keep trying to attach Black people with homophobia is because of the oppression that Black people as a collective went through and still go through. Then you have the oppression that people who are in the academy go through, and they try to combine the two as if they're the same. They're not the same. Y'all are dealing, I said the academy is dealing with something way different than what we're dealing with, but let them tell it we're two peas in a pod. And the Black ones, they got to be careful because when you start doing that, that opens the door for those who are not Black, but who are also in the academy I got to be very careful when I say this, to move their way in and collect what should be yours. I mean, think about it for a second. Why do you think whenever they have these pride events, you have one main one, but then you have Black people who have their own? So to me, that's still showing separation right there. Shoot, I've seen videos where you have people who are Black in the academy who air out their grievances about the white people in the academy all the time. They say you might be in the academy like me, but your views are very messed up. Because with them white ones, they can be in the academy, but they can also be MAGA. They can also be anti-Black. They can be anti-reparations as well. Look at, what's his name? Milo. You know his name. Prime example. Because at the end of the day, they might be in the academy, but they still know the privilege that they have as a white person in this country.
And it's like, bro, truth be told, who cares, bro? Like, bro, oh, he likes this sort of people. Oh, bro, big fucking deal. Like, I mean this in the nicest way possible. I don't give a fuck, bro. I don't care, bro. It's not my business. I don't give a fuck what they do behind closed. I don't care, and I don't care to know. Like, I don't fucking care, bro. I ain't gonna lie. And like, bro, being homophobic is like hating on a nigga who is minding his business and like not even worried about you, bro. That shit makes no sense, bro. I'm gonna get called DL for this. I'm already knowing.
Yeah, that's another thing we gotta stop with, bro. Calling every man you disagree with DL. Black women, y'all, I gotta bring y'all up. Y'all know I love y'all, but I see this. Some of y'all, when y'all don't agree with a man, y'all love calling him DL. Y'all, we gotta stop that, because even if he was, what's wrong with that? There's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with that. Okay. Hey, in this political climate.
Whoa. Wait a minute. See, this is the part that I didn't see. Like I said, I didn't get that far. I gotta replay that part, because what did he just say?
I gotta bring y'all up. Y'all know I love y'all, but I see this. Some of y'all, when y'all don't agree with a man, y'all love calling him DL. Y'all, we gotta stop that, because even if he was, what's wrong with that? There's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with that. Okay. Hey, in this
ladies in the chat, he just said, so the ladies out there, y'all gotta stop calling men DL who are most likely DL, and say that there's nothing wrong with that. That's why I had to replay that part, just to make sure that I heard that correctly, because that's not a good look. Especially if this dude has a girlfriend or wife and he's stepping out on her with another man, and he could possibly bring something home. Because like I said, I didn't get this far into the video when I was watching a little bit of it earlier. So this part took me, like, kind of knocked my head back like a Pez dispenser. Like that was kind of strange to me. And when I was, like I said, when I was looking through the comments, no one timestamped that part and caught that. Jelena said, thank you for saying that, Torian. I have to tell my cousin this all the time. He tends to lean more with his sexuality than being a Black American. And you know why they do that? Because a lot of them feel like they can, and I'm not saying if this is pertaining to your cousin or not, but I'm just saying what I believe. I think a lot of them feel safe by doing that, because they know the negativity in their eyes, what comes with being just seen as just leading with them being Black, and they feel like, again, they feel safe by leading with their sexuality first. But even with that, that's not going to give them that much cover, if any at all. Like I said, if you are Black in this country, it don't matter who you sleep with or who you mess with. It don't matter. They see one thing first before they see anything else. They gonna see your Black melanated skin before they see your lifestyle, especially if you're not the flamboyant type.
Political climate, though, I feel like it is the bare minimum for every melanated person to be pro-Black. I know it's not good to take social media literal, but at this point, we need to start doing that. The amount of anti-Black rhetoric I'm seeing on the daily on here is just insane. Millions of people are just outwardly showing their disgust and hatred for Black people. Look at that, y'all. 1.7 million likes. This is somebody who did a video on the situation.
That video has 1 million likes, 800,000 shares. Remember the video I was talking about a couple days ago about how dark humor, you got to grow up and get out of it? That's exactly what I'm talking about. That was a corny post, bro. Probably made by somebody around my age who was talking about how they want to say things to Black people once they get a little too drunk. And one of the top comments was, I even start pronouncing my R's a little bit harder too. Come on, bro. Like, y'all probably grown men saying this. Like, racism's not funny, bro. It's corny. Like, what is we doing here? What is we doing here? This literally makes no sense. This video has almost 2 million likes. 2 million people agree with that sentence. There's 2 million racist people on this earth at the moment.
And we worried about other Black people from different, like, motherfuckers see us the same way, bro. Like, everything looks good in Black except girls. This one has more likes, 1.9 million. You know what I'm saying? It's like, bro.
I know what he's doing right here in this part. He's trying to say that, we're worried about, it's almost like he's trying to shy away from what he said in the video, because he knows that he messed up with what he said. He alluded to that in the beginning. And now he's trying to do the thing of, if you're FBA, they're going to see the same way as they would see a Ghanaian, a Jamaican, a Haitian, a Trinidadian, a Nigerian, so on and so forth. So don't think that just because you are a Black American, that no one else who's Black, or in the diaspora rather, is not going to be seen the same exact way. That's not what the topic of discussion was. The point was, and honestly, he really didn't address the video The point was that you put up a video titled FBA to alt-right pipeline. That was the title. And tried to make it seem like we are now in alignment with white supremacists. Because Tucker Carlson, who we know is a white supremacist, T-Mood version our lineage. That's what this is what it's all about. So really, in honesty, and I'm in the video right here, well, in this video right here, that was nothing more, in my opinion, than damage control, and not good damage control at that. But we got one more video we got to go over, and I thought about whether or not I was going to talk about it, but you know what? I said the night is young, and so are most of us in this chat. Shout out to all of my elders. I got to talk about this. Okay. Because I kind of knew or figured that Lucas was going to talk about this and couldn't wait, much like everybody else. It's like this was the Cinderella moment for them. And shout out to Dewan B, because he actually did a live, was it yesterday? I think yesterday, where he broke this down. If y'all to subscribe to Dewan B, make sure y'all gonna go ahead and do that, because he did a very good breakdown of this. Wallow says someone called Afro Elite. Afro is actually going live at 8 o'clock, and I think he's going to talk about both of these. So if y'all are subscribed to Afro, which I don't see why you aren't, he's going to talk about the same thing I'm talking about right now. So y'all about to get a double hit with this. So he made a video and says FBA gets mainstream validation from Tucker Carlson, which it was not that. It definitely was not that. And then he said, here's the problem. And someone said, about time that I talk about him. This is not my first time talking about Lucas. This is probably my second time. Because if y'all remember, I had did a live about him a couple years ago. It was a collab. No, was it a live or a video? It might have been a video that I did a collab with Rob. Y'all have to go back maybe 2 or 3 years when I did it. And I was questioning something then. I think that's when he was starting to do his transitional thing. But now it's almost like he goes back and forth between both sides. It's like he can't just stay on one side. At least that's what I gathered. So we're gonna go ahead now. I sped this up too because his video is almost 20 minutes long. So I'm speeding this up to. I might have to speed this up to 1.5. All right, y'all. Let's do this.
Oh my goodness. So many of you guys have asked me to check out this video. You guys have DM'd me, you emailed me, you tweeted at me. And for those who don't know, the video is of Tucker Carlson and this dude named James Fishback, who is currently, mind you, running for governor of Florida, right? He's in competition with Byron Donalds, that Sambo soldier.
You see, during Jim Crow, the Black family was together.
That's right.
During Jim Crow, more Black people were not just conservative. Black people always have been conservative-minded, but more Black people voted conservatively.
You are a fucking idiot. And the reason why this thing has gone viral, so to speak, is that these two demons have used the lexicon of a fringe group of Black Americans, and they have mentioned the words FBA and tether. That is correct. That's the reason why it's gone viral. Now, for those of you who don't know, FBA is a moniker that stands for Foundational Black American. It's tantamount to ADOS, African Descendants of Slaves, Black American, Black, African American, the list goes on. We've had many names, colored, the list goes on. That's what it means. This is the new word that, people are calling themselves now. And then tether is nothing more than, tantamount to Sambo soldier, a coon who is foreign born. Now, in this video, it's hilarious to me. I'm gonna explain to you why. But in this video, you have Tucker Carlson. They're talking about Byron Donalds, and Fishback is like, hey, it was made aware to me that Byron, doesn't even have a lineage that is a descendant of slave.
Which is actually quite interesting because I got a call from the Foundational Black American Society here in Florida who reminded me that Byron's mother is Jamaican. he is Panamanian, and they found it quite insulting in their words that he would try to claim victimhood of slavery, not a single descendant of American slaves in his family.
I find it hilarious that he's calling me, racist for saying that he's a slave, but he doesn't have any lineage of slavery, in his family. So that's what this is all about. Now, Fishback also says that, hey, these people are absolutely American, right? And Tucker Carlson's going, yes, absolutely. I love these guys. I love this Tariq Nasheed guy and everything. They're really good. They're real fun.
I like those foundational guys.
They're so good.
Tariq Nasheed and all. I mean, I don't agree with everything, but they've got a perspective. If your family's been here 400 years, and the descendants of a lot of American slaves or families have been here 400 years. I don't know. I think that gives. I'll listen to you. Like you've got a point of view that is legitimate. I think.
Yeah, and they're unequivocally heritage Americans.
That's for sure.
100%.
They're definitely heritage Americans. If anyone is.
I don't know what to say, but let me just be clear. This is not the flex that many people are making it.
Nobody's saying that it is. I don't know anybody that's saying that this is a good thing. I don't know what in the world is going on here. When I looked at that, all I said was they're watching us. People like James Fish, because if y'all remember, there was a video interview that James Fishback had did with this black woman, and she was a black woman. She had a black shirt on and it said Freedman in white lettering going across the shirt. And that's when I first heard him say tether, and I was like, wait a minute, tether. I said, is he watching us? That's all I said. I didn't say, oh my God, he said tether. He must be on our side. He must love us. Oh my goodness. I didn't say all of that. I just said people like him and probably Tucker Carlson, and not only just them, but others are watching us. They won't bring themselves to say that they are, but they are. Because we've never heard them talk like that before. We've never even heard them say those words. But now they're saying it. That's all I said. And they didn't go any further than that. That is not me saying thank you for the validation. How you twist that into this is crazy.
And I think this is emblematic of why we can't have nice things. All right. This is why we can't have nice things, because people are following an FBI agent who is primary focus is to cause division.
So look what he just said there. He said an FBI agent. We all know who he's talking about. He's talking about Tariq. He called Tariq an FBI agent. I would like to see a debate between Tariq and Lucas. Especially if you're going to call me an FBI agent. Like now we're going to have a discussion.
The FBI agent, according to court documents, I'm not saying it, but according to court documents, this alleged FBI agent has already told people, don't expect reparations, don't expect any tangibles, don't expect anything from this moniker of FBA. Damn. That it's nothing more than denoting the lineage. That's it. And when you see Tweedledum and Tweedledee, these two demons, and they are demons, because they're big upping these people for mentioning, FBA and Tether, like, oh, we've made it. I saw one post where this person actually said that. It was like, Negro, we made it. We did it. And this is why.
Hold on. Let me go back. And this is something that Dewan actually pointed out on his live right here. So this is a tweet right here. I don't know who it came from. It says, I like those foundational guys in Tariq Nasheed. They are more heritage American than more than anyone, right? Said Carlson. It says Republican candidate at J Fishback tossed to Tucker Carlson on the TC network. Shout out to FBA and Tariq Nasheed. N-word, we made it. Now, something that Dewan had pointed out in his live was notice that we don't see who posted this. Like it's cropped. Like on Twitter, you will be able to see at the top what the name is. We don't know who posted this. For all we know, this could have been coming from a bot account. We don't know. And then this is the post that you made to try to drive home a point that the collective all thought like this. This was one tweet. I didn't know one tweet could represent a population of around 40 million people. Let's continue.
We made it. We did it. And this is why we can't have nice things, because instead of actually wanting empowerment, instead of actually wanting freedom, there is a group of these Black Americans who are nothing more than Sambo soldiers themselves, but they have managed to do mental gymnastics to try and act as if they're for Black empowerment. And they're about the Black people, okay? We really about Black people and everything. But
literally one tweet, Donna, and it was a blink if you missed it. That's why I had to go back and pause it, because the tweet was only up there for like 0.5 seconds and it was gone. That's like I said, a blink and you would have missed it.
In all actuality, they're nothing more than, Sambo soldiers.
He's out of line, but he's right.
They want a pat on the head. That's what they want. They want acknowledgement.
The secret of selling to the Negro is expressed in one word. That word is recognition. But perhaps because he's had so little of it, the Negro needs even more. He needs to feel important and appreciated.
Instead of actual policy legislation, they want acknowledgement. And this is where we are. This is why we get, because they constantly want to complain about Democrats, right? The hustle is
there. He's giving himself away. Let me rewind that part.
they want acknowledgement. And this is where we are. This is why we get, because they constantly want to complain about Democrats, right? The hustle is they're not for Republicans, but all the criticism is levied against Democrats. Bro,
he said, he's telling on himself right here. He probably doesn't even realize
actual
it.
policy legislation, they want acknowledgement. And this is where we are. This is why we get, because they constantly want to complain about Democrats, right? The hustle is they're not for Republicans, but all the criticism is levied against Democrats. Bro, that's COINTELPRO. What do we do?
So now FBA is being accused of not only having an FBI agent, quote unquote, leading, but also being a part of COINTELPRO. Apparently, all FBA is against the Democrats, and we're all Republicans, and we are all undercover agents. Or, I'm sorry, the majority.
What are we talking about? A lot of these Negroes have already gotten the 7K check from Israel. We already know that. Oh. But that's what they're doing. Oh, the Democrats this and the Democrat that and the Democrat this. And it's like, you know, I don't get me wrong. The whole kente cloth with Nancy Pelosi, that's foolishness. But this is literally the same thing. This is Fishback and Tucker Carlson talking about FBA. I like those guys, and yeah, they're American. This is the same thing as Hillary Clinton and the hot sauce, all right? And to further prove my point, you have Fishback who's talking about the biggest issue with the country right now is the great replacement in anti-white racism.
I'm here with James Fishback. He is a candidate running for Florida governor. James, what's something that is such a big issue in America that Republican politicians won't talk about?
The great replacement and white genocide, they're both real, and I'm running for Florida governor to stop it. It should not be this hard for Americans to exist in their own country.
And James Fishback isn't even white himself. Well, he's not ethnically white. I'll put it like that. That's the crazier part about this. That's the wilder part about this. James Fishback is not ethnically white himself. He is of Colombian descent. Listen, this just proves self-hate doesn't have to just go one way. There are many other groups that have a lot of self-hate within themselves as well.
The entire premise of my campaign is that Florida is our home, America is our birthright, and we can never let them.
And let's be real here. The fact, if you want to try to make, let's just hypothetically say you want to make Florida lily white, that is not happening. Not in a million years. You would have to do a full-on ethnic cleanse of that state in order for it to be white again. And good luck with that.
Steal it from us.
And do I need to say anything about Tucker Carlson? Do I at this point? But what you need to realize is that they know that these Negroes just want a pat in the head. They know that they don't really want reparations. They don't care about reparations. They don't care about police reform. They don't care about any of that. They don't care about black women dying in the hospital. What they want is a pat on the head.
See again, and this is what I mean when I talk about thinking you're the smartest person in the room. Because remember, I did the live on Angry Man a couple days ago. He did this. He does the same thing, but just on the opposite end of thinking you're the smartest person in the room, thinking you know everything. No one can tell you that you're wrong. And even if you are wrong, you still try to say that you're right. Notice keep saying they. He never says we. He never says us. So he's doing the same thing Angry Man did in that video. They, them, you N-words, and black people. They never say we. They never say us. They have now, what I said Monday, disconnected.
They want, to be seen in the eyes of massa that, hey, y'all not like them people over there. You know that, right? You're special, okay? They want to be house Negroes.
It's a well-known fact that many Negro customers are influenced by the opinions of others. What their friends may think of a certain item often decides whether or not the sale is made.
That's what they want to be. They want to be house Negroes. And that is what happened. That is case in point what has happened. The same group of people who constantly talking about, oh, they ain't never done nothing for us, are the same group of people who tell you to sit on the couch. Hashtag sit on the couch. These are the same.
Yes, we did. We sure did say hashtag sit on the couch, and I think it was a success. What say y'all in the chat? See, what it really is they are so upset that we are now telling people we don't have the power to really affect much of anything, at least on a political scale. But like I've told people, we are the trendsetters of the world. We got motion no matter what. And they are threatened by it. Shout out to Professor Wonderful for the $2 super chat. He said the amazing Lucas has no integrity. I appreciate you. And guess what? We gonna be on that couch again if they keep playing come 2028. Good luck. Because as it stands right now, it seems like everybody else is being affected by whatever is going on right now but us. We tried to warn them. And midterms is this year too. You hear some people on the right, they over there panicking right now. They see, the thing is, the people that's leaning politically to the right, they have to win the midterms. If they don't win the midterms in November, it is a wrap for them. 2028 be damned. But we'll see what happens when November rolls around.
Group of people who don't know who the representatives are, don't know who represents them in Congress, much less the House or the Senate, don't know how basic civics, but they want to tell you hashtag cut the check. These are the same group of people that will attend a reparations rally with no one in any position of power attending the reparations rally.
Sounds like you was upset that you wasn't able to attend.
Are you retarded? What are y'all doing? Who has given you this false sense of, I don't know, black power or whatever? Because all it is nothing more than whitewash, white supremacy. That's all that is. I want people to understand.
Hold on. When has black empowerment been seen as a whitewashed version of white supremacy? I've never heard that one before. That's a new one right there. This, to me, is coming off as very emotional. To me. I can't speak for anybody else.
This is, in a nutshell, white supremacy. Because if there is no action, and I've said this before, right? There is no leader. Oh, it's a lineage. Look at it, the lineage. I hear you. That's great, boo-boo. But we've been had a lineage, okay? There is no special moniker or name that makes us get reparations, fam. Upon you identify as African-American versus FBA versus ADOS, there is no magical theory that goes, here's your reparations. That's not how that works.
It's called delineating from other groups that have tethered onto what we have and came with utter disrespect. That is why. I'm telling you, they are losing it. Okay, they are losing their minds right now.
I don't care what you call me as long as the check cashes, okay? As long as the check clears. I don't care what you call me as long as you give me what is owed to me. That's not where the mindset is. These mofos just want acknowledgement. They want delineation. Okay, delineate. I got a problem with that, but where does that get me? What policy does that get me? What legislation are we looking at? What bills are we looking at? Huh? Nothing, right? Because that
sounds to me like you're the one that wants to sit at the table. Notice he keeps saying, what policies does that get me? What does that get me? What does that get me? Notice who he'll have to go to for those said policies. Shout out to Samuel Bryan for the 5. He said, Torian, are you expecting Byron Donalds to respond to James Fishback after he said he's going to turn the state of Florida into the gut? I don't. Because he hasn't responded to James when he called him a slave or anything else. Byron Donalds is not going to say nothing because he feels if he does, he'll be playing into the stereotype. He's being the good old boy right now. He ain't about to respond to nothing. And I don't expect him to. And if he does, I still won't care.
I said, there's no leader. So there's no leader, there's no game plan. So what you have is chaos. Because there is no code of ethics. There is no code. And I find it hilarious that the Google people constantly want to talk about, oh, you off code and this code and that code. It's like, if there is no enforcement of the code, then there is no code, fam. This is the same thing we had with Ann Coulter. Y'all remember when Ann Coulter mentioned the name that shall not be mentioned, the FBA? They were all up on Ann Coulter.
So unless these benefits are going to, roughly defined, foundational Black Americans, the descendants of American slaves, you've taken away the whole purpose of this.
Y'all.
And even when Ann said that, we wasn't all singing and kissing Ann Coulter derriere. I just said, oh, Ann Coulter, like I said with James Fishback, she been watching, she been looking. Because we all know Ann Coulter's stance when it comes to us. She don't like us. She made that very clear. And I said, and you know what? We like that she said that because we don't have to guess. Ann has been like that since we've heard about her for years.
Don't want anything. Y'all are, getting shoulder to shoulder with these people who despise you. Tucker Carlson, was just at the White House with a whole bunch of oil execs. Do you think Tucker Carlson cares about reparations? Huh? Do you think Tucker Carlson cares about...
We know Tucker Carlson doesn't care about reparations. He said it. This is the guy whose dad married the heiress to Swanson, the broth company. Tucker Carlson is going to die a wealthy man just off that alone.
Of police reform. Do you think Tucker Carlson cares about what's going on in Chicago or any type of black lived experience? No. Do you think James Fishback cares about what? Because he says it in the conversation. Oh, they're just trying to latch on to the struggles of these people.
But secondarily, to actually go out and try to gaslight us and think that you're just one of those guys that has been here, you know, since the early 1800s and your family was in the struggle too, you're not. And it's a very interesting term that the foundational Black Americans use. It's called tether.
What struggles do you know of Black American people, huh? Do you think this fool cares about Black Americans, FBA or whatever? No. He is using these group of people to incite and foment hatred for Byron Donalds.
The only way that this would work for in James Fishback's benefit, like the way that Lucas will have a point with this, is if overwhelmingly Black Americans voted for James Fishback in his governor run. Then you could say that worked with the people down there in Florida. But I don't even see that happening, even if he does win. Then you would have a hill to stand on. But he's telling us something. This is the epitome of preaching to the choir. You're telling us something we already been talking about. This is nothing new.
That's all he's doing. He is trying to win an election. So if he can get these useful idiots, which is what they are, to side with him, then that's a good thing for him. He doesn't care. He doesn't care about them, but he's willing to utilize them for his empowerment. So until Negroes, until Black people, Black Americans, ADOS, FBA, whatever y'all want to call yourselves, until y'all stop wanting a pat on the head and acknowledgement from these demons, from this lineage of evil, we ain't going to get anywhere. This is why we are where we are right now, because we are as a group politically dumb. And you can't say, no, Lucas, because that's how we are treated. You get treated how you allow someone to treat you and how we have been treated.
See how he's talking and how he keeps doing the finger wagging thing? I can't stand that. And he does that often. And I notice we get the finger wag a lot.
It's like hoes. It's as simple as that. That's what it is. They don't offer you anything. They don't promise you anything. But then you vote again. And then you say, well, I'm not going to vote for you. I'm going to vote for the other guy. And the other guy doesn't like you at all. But instead of holding their feet to the fire, instead of being educated in the political system, instead of being educated in this game, because we can be educated in all other games, football, UFC, soccer, baseball, basketball. This is the one game that determines all those other games, bro. But this is the one game that seems that we are systematically forced out of. We have been told, hey, don't worry about it. It's all rigged. Don't worry about it. It's all, there's nothing you can do. It's all rigged. Instead of you knowing a basketball player's name, why don't you know a congressperson's name? Huh? Instead of knowing the stats for LeBron versus Jordan or Curry versus LeBron or whatever, why don't you know the stats of some representatives? But they don't want you to know that, because once we start educating ourselves on, wait, who is this person? Who's funding them? How do they get that money? What's this shell company over here? Once we start doing our due diligence here, then we become a problem. And we are the only group of people that has been a problem to these races. Everyone else kowtows. Asians, Indians, Latinos, even African immigrants, okay? The tethers, as they want to say. But we are the only group of people who are like, nah, that's some BS. I ain't doing that. So what happens? How do we silence these group of people? How do we domesticate these group of people so they don't see us as a threat? Simple. Make them feel inferior. That's what they do. And the only way that they can feel inferior, or the only way that they can overcome that inferiority, is via our approval.
And they're unequivocally heritage Americans.
That's for sure.
100%.
They're definitely heritage Americans, if anyone is.
Nigga, please. This is mental warfare, okay, mind you. This is mental warfare.
I would like to know what his solution is. I would like to know what his solution is.
The moment in time you got more hatred and animosity and disdain for an African immigrant than Tucker Carlson and James Fishback, you've lost the plot, okay?
Who said we didn't have a disdain towards Tucker Carlson? My long-standing loathsome towards Tucker Carlson is ongoing. It's practically an infinity symbol. Remember, this is the same guy who platformed Candace Owens a few years ago when she said black people were the most murderous, Black Americans were the most murderous group in America, and Tucker Carlson sitting up there nodding in agreement.
That's how I know you really are a Black American, because I can tell that your brain is
right, Khalil. That sounds like that might be his solution without him actually saying it.
It's been conditioned. You have been conditioned for your own self-destruction, because that is a self-destructive mindset to have, where you big up a racist because, I don't know, they talk like you. I've seen this happen before, where you'll have a white person or a non-Black person dressed like you and be like, oh yeah, you welcome to the cookout. Oh, or they dance, right? They can do a dance or a jig. Oh, you coming to the cookout. What is this?
That's not every Black person, though. Again, you're making it seem like the collective is all that we're all doing that. I don't know about you, but the cookouts that I have are pretty much canceled at this point until further notice, or at least at the very least postponed.
He's out of line, but he's right.
Do you think Jews do that? Do you think if your little black butt puts on a yarmulke, they're like, oh yeah, bro, you definitely come to the synagogue, bro. Shabbat shalom. Is that what you think is gonna happen? Do you think the Latinos, okay, you put on a sombrero, they go, oh yeah, bro, you definitely come into the quinceañera. No, this is this mindset I'm talking about where it's like, it's a poison that has happened, where we have become so domesticated, we have become so open and welcoming, all right? And don't even get me started on the scripture and how, how the scripture has been bastardized, especially for us, because it's practically a slave Bible. We're the only group of people who do this stuff. Oh yeah, man, you talk like us.
And I hate that narrative that we are the only people that do this and do that and do that. I might have to do a deep dive about this. That whole we the only people that do narrative, because I'm almost certain I'm certain that that's not the case. Saying that we're the only group of people. I hate that talking point. It's almost like a guilt trip. It's almost like a guilt trip thing to try to make us like stand down.
No, you cool with us. No one else does that, fam. No one else does.
I'm almost certain there are those who do it.
And I find it just hysterical that we would be more accommodating to two anti-black races than a black immigrant who's just trying to survive, bro. I don't care what Tucker Carlson or with this James Fishback.
We don't care either. That's the point that we're making. Like, what is he talking about? He posted one tweet up there, and we're questioning that tweet because we don't see who posted it, saying that they liked what they said about FBA. One tweet. One questionable tweet at that.
Whatever he says, I don't care, fam. They are meaningless. If they are actually want to be allies, because what should be happening? They should be protesting right now, if anything. They should be livid with Fishback and Tucker Carlson taking black talking points and mentioning them.
You want us to go out there and protest? That's your solution. I just asked what it was. Is to go out there and protest.
Out of their freaking demonic mouths, okay? They have stained the words FBA and Tether by them even.
No, they haven't. No, they haven't, because they didn't even say it correctly.
Been mentioning them. Damn. Instead of y'all giving them big ups and saying, oh, we made it, you should be livid that these two races who are going one.
I got a question, Lucas. If Kamala Harris said FBA, would you have come on here and did this rant, or would you have been saying, oh my God, I'm glad she said it? If Joe Biden would have said that, would you have came on here and made this video? Inquiring minds would love to know.
Who is looking to be in a significant amount of power, being the governor of Florida, and Tucker Carlson, who has a direct line to Trump, had done nothing for these group of people that they believe are real Americans. For these group of people that they know are going through struggles and obstacles in this country, have not lifted a damn finger. But y'all Negroes want to be happy because they called your name. Anyways, guys, that's
okay. So that's the end of that. So y'all know what time it is. We made it through the reactions. Let me go ahead now and drop the link. I know y'all got something to say. I'm ready to hear it. The link is in the chat. I'm getting the timer, and we're about to get this thing started. I'll give y'all 3 minutes like I did the other night. Waller, what's going on?
What's going on, Torn? What's going on, everybody in the chat? I don't know if you saw James. Like you said, his mom is from Colombia. His dad is actually American. So he's like, I think he's fourth generation American. So yeah, he is that. So, and also, like KG said, they don't want to save the country. They don't want to be celebrities. Because I say that because I saw yesterday he's now trying to beef with that famous OnlyFans girl. Mm-hmm. Did you see that?
No.
What's her name? Sophia Rain or something like that. He wants to do some type of tax on the adult industry in Florida. Some crazy BS mess, but y'all go look that up. Antonio, I still rock with you, but some of that stuff you were saying, it was very, very misleading. Like I like what's the guy name you said? Young Don, right? If I'm mistaken. That's the right name, right? Young Don Reacts?
Yeah.
Yeah, like that's how I found. That's how I found him. He's good too, but he acknowledged like he is Jamaican and he doesn't like talk too much shit. Like he is kind of funny, but he's cool too. Shout out to him. But you all y'all out there talking junk, y'all better keep your head on the swivel because you saw how fast Antonio took that stuff down. And as for Lucas, I'm trying to get out here fast, Tony. I'm sorry, but as for Lucas, shut your bitch ass up, and I'll land there.
Shout out to you for coming up. All right, next up we got Jonathan. What's going on?
What's going on, man? Yeah, Lucas kind of disappointed me right there. And usually, I was going to his videos and be on point. He was on point at the time. Now he's like kind of trying to trickle his way back to that Sambo type of personality that he had the first time. And I guess that was my instinct to tell me to stop listening to him, and I can see why. Yeah. And shout out to you for posting and calling him out, because he was saying some secret words that I caught that made me look at him sideways. Antonio, Antonio's he's young and he's gonna say some things that even he messed up. I mean, good content creators mess up too. So he'll eventually fix himself back in, right in the right place, and still be about his folks, still be about us. But that Fishback character, told Carlson, those idiots, you know what I'm saying? Those two, Sucker, he just get on my nerves. I'm tired of seeing him. Now, first of all, that's what James Fishback. First of all, I just want to know what kind of last name is Fishback. That's a very weird last name. Wonder what his cousin's name is. Eelback? Anyway, or Sharkback or something, I don't know. But I'm gonna go ahead and let my plane, because I'm still riding this bus. Now I won't call those kind of here.
All right, appreciate you coming up. All right, so y'all know who about to come up next.
Heed my command and reclaim these relics of hatred.
What's going on?
Good evening, my baby. Good evening, family. That Antonio Speaks, I immediately unsubscribed from his channel. He get no pass from me, young or not. I don't know why he did it, but the damage is done. That's just me. Lucas, fuck him. Fishback, you got enough problems with that fucked up name. And you ain't white enough, so there it is. We, as foundational Black Americans, we on point. 10 toes down. See how everybody's flipping the hell out, Torian?
Mm-hmm.
They want us in them streets so damn bad. Hell no. I was born at night, but not last night. We gonna hold this line, and we already got the victory. They got to cut that check. And I'll land there. B1 family.
B1. Shout out to Miss Hurricane Nisi for coming up. And KG, like when you said that, it takes me back. Unsubscribe. All right, next up we got Samuel. What's going on?
Hey, what's up, Torian? Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Yeah, Torian, like I'm looking at Florida right now with Byron Donalds and James Fishback, those being kind of the two top contenders for the Senate or the Congress that they're both running for.
Run for governor.
Oh, for governor. So
they're running for DeSantis' seat.
Okay. Either way, it's looking like a lose-lose for Florida and in the state of Florida, just for the simple fact that either they got to choose, but all those white conservatives, either they have to choose between a Black man or a Latino man with a white man's name. So it's looking like a lose-lose. And I'll just look at it like for FBA, we don't have a fight in that boat, and we could honestly care less.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And, and I wanted to ask you, Torian, with that video that Antonio did, like, would you say that kind of hinders would you ever do another interview with him again, or, you kind of giving him a pass on that?
I would have to talk to him more so behind the scenes, more so about like what I want to have a conversation, like what made him like put that out there, like really what made, because I already gave my perspective on it in this live. I said like Because the thing is, with the videos that I've seen him do in the past, and I put your time on pause so I wouldn't run your clock out. But I've seen videos that he's done in the past, and like y'all, I've told y'all before before I had him on the live, I said I wanted to go through, and I was watching him for like a couple of months, and he's a very analytical person. But with this one, it was like a rush job. Like I gotta immediately speak on it. But like I said, that title alone saying FBA to alt-right pipeline, especially when you've seen videos of him where he's talked about the incel to alt-right pipeline or the red pill to the alt-right pipeline. And when he's done those videos, he actually breaks down why that actually would work. But then when you saw that one, none of it made any sense. Like it didn't make any sense at all. Like again, you were going based off of seeing Tucker Carlson and James Fishback, but especially Tucker Carlson talk about FBA and lineage and stuff like that. And you just said, oh, because Tucker Carlson said it, that means we must be in cahoots. Like, no, like that's not that's not how that goes down. That's not how that's supposed to work. And with someone who is as analytical as he is, that's what kind of like kind of made me look at it kind of sideways. Because
Right.
that was because in my opinion, that came off very amateurish.
Right. And you can see that, Troy. It's probably like, I don't know if you may agree with me or this or that. You can't be strong FBA or be a Trump supporter at the same time. That's in my perspective.
Mm-hmm.
Or would you disagree?
Hey, listen, it is what it is. I'm an independent voter. I see, like I always tell you, two wings attached to the same buzzer. Both of them do not benefit us whatsoever. They all have their own agendas, but they seem to collectively like to come together in their own way when it comes to making us still be boggled down.
Right, because I've even said that before, Torian, because I'm an independent myself. I will admit I'm left-leaning in certain ways, and then, I can agree right on the small things. But, this, and I'm going to leave this like right here, Torian. It's like conservatives they pretty much want you dead, but the Liberal Party, they want you to be so dependent on like the system. And I'm going to just leave it at there, B1.
B1. And to Wallow, the reason why it seemed like Sammy was on longer is because I paused his timer because I was talking. I didn't want his time to run out. I'm that considerate, Wallow. That's why when y'all come up and speak, y'all don't hear me say too much. I let y'all have the floor because I already spoke for over an hour. But if I'm adding my take to it and I'm like speaking at length, I don't want their time to be overlapped by what I got to say because I feel like that wouldn't be fair. Try to let them get all their talking points out before the buzzer goes off. All right, but yeah, like I said, I think that's the part that really got me. Like I was just telling Samuel, like Antonio is a very analytical person. He seems to do his research on all the commentaries that he has done based on the things that I've done. But it's just with this one, it wasn't thought out. And when I was looking, ironically, when I was looking through the comments, he replied to somebody in the comments, and he said that he was going to redo the video, and he admitted that he didn't, that he put out misinformation, and it was like misleading. Now some people will forgive him, but like Ms. Nisi just came up here and said, who's no nonsense, she just said that she unsubscribed because like you only get one opportunity. Some people like don't give second chances, and that's her right. It is what it is. All right, next up we got Joseph. What's going on?
Salute, Torian. Salute to the chat room.
Mm-hmm.
I honestly, when it comes to Lucas, anytime someone starts off talking fast and don't take a breath to explain what it is that they are saying for like the first 3 minutes, they automatically get a side eye. And the individual you're talking about, what's his name again?
Antonio Speaks.
Yeah. If it was an honest mistake for him putting out misinformation, like Professor Black Truth said, what's the best way? How do you know? What's the best way to find out a person's true character is time. So if it's an honest mistake, time will tell. But as far as Lucas is concerned, his time is already up, and right now he's just grasping for more, He's just grasping for more just because this delineation movement is making this impact.
Yeah.
And we don't care, like, you know, who notices. And the Tucker Carlson Fishback thing, all I heard was just backhanded, you know, acknowledgement.
Yeah. Like, that's why I didn't take it seriously at all when I heard it. I was like, oh God. It's gonna be some people that's gonna fall for the banana to tailpipe, but my name ain't somebody.
Right. And it's up to us that still like are in the grassroots to make sure, like, hey, don't take what these dudes say seriously. Oh, and when you said Tariq Nasheed did an interview with Tucker Carlson, he did too. I remember the second one where Tucker pulled out Tariq's book, The Art of Macking, and Tariq had to say, dude, I know you did not just pull out a page from, you know, one of my chapters. And Tucker was caught like a deer in headlights when he tried to do that. But yeah, I'm glad that I got to be up here. I'm glad I caught another live. I'll do my best to catch more. Thanks for having me up.
No problem. Thanks for coming up. All right, shout out to Joseph for coming up. Next up, we got AW1. What's going on?
Hey, what's going on, Torian? Yeah. You know, my thing with Anton or Antonio, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm actually subscribed. I'm still subscribed to him. You know, and that's people prerogative if they want to unsubscribe. But see, but that's a lesson too. You got to be careful with what you put out there.
Yeah.
You got to do your research. You have to before you put something out there.
Yeah, because you got to think when you put that particular video out there with that title, you offended a good chunk of your base.
Exactly.
Like a lot of FBA were subscribed to him. And you know, because like they like the stuff that he puts out there, like they pretty much agree with it, and you put that out there, and it's like, where is this coming from? Like how in the world did that happen? And then people want to wonder, is that how you felt the whole time?
Well,
because people are going to start questioning it.
Well, yeah, but my thing is too, I'm a little sympathetic to him on this because, like he mentioned, his dad is Jamaican and his mama's American, you know. So I kind of get, and I'm not mad if black folks are like, hey, we're all one, even though it doesn't work, because I am for the FBA stuff. But it's like, but the thing is, the Trinidadians, the Africans, the Caribbeans, the Jamaicans, they have to be respectful to us when they come here.
Yeah,
stop.
Because we're always being seen, because you know, thanks to the usual suspects, we've been seen as the villain of the story for so long, and people see that, and then they adapt to it for survival, and then this is what we end up with.
Mm-hmm. And with that, I'm sorry, go ahead.
And let me pause your time right quick, so I can add this in. They do this as a survival tactic, so they could be quote unquote protected. But and that's why I think they're mad at us for delineating, because now you cannot hide behind us anymore. Now the veil has been lifted and you got to do your own thing. Now you have to be your own survivor. You can't latch on to us for one thing, but then give us your ass to kiss so you can be over there to get your biscuits. Like we're not doing this no more. And they're upset. They are mad about that.
And scared.
That too. They're scared and they're mad. But hey, it is what it is. And the thing is, they can't say we didn't try. They can't, because remember back in like I would say like back in the 90s, early 90s, there was a wave of where you thought that there was going to be this unit of Black Americans, even Africans. It was a pocket right there at one point in time. But then I don't know what I was real young when that was going on, but I don't know what happened, and that just kind of just broke off, and then it's like they try to come back together, but it was like, no, we're not, you don't pick us up one day when you need us and then throw us down when you don't need us anymore. Like, we're not doing that.
Yeah, we always got to be the shield for everybody, the immigrants and Black immigrants. No more. And right quick to Tucker Carlson. People don't. I mean, fuck him for one. He's still a racist in my book, and to the Black, look, don't fall for it. That's bait. He did that so we could fight with each other. That's all my land, man. Be one.
Be one. All right, shout out to AW1. Next up, I already know who this is. What's going on, KG?
Why don't you acknowledge the Swanson man?
Why should I?
Because he's giving us banquet fried chicken while his family has. They own Banquet Fried Chicken and the Pot Pies. He's the most powerful white man in the country right now.
Oh my God. I thought that was Elon. Then he not even from
Elon,
here.
but wait a minute. Elon has been losing hella market share. Oh, you didn't see the live today.
No, I didn't see it.
Yeah, X users are canceling their check marks because they're being throttled.
Oh well.
Yeah. But this goes to show you why you don't follow the trends. If you have nothing to teach when something pops off that's gone viral, you stay away from it.
Yeah, that's why I said early on when I started my live, I said I don't jump on something immediately as soon as it happens. I wait for it to. I will wait for the dust to settle a little bit, because then by that time everything has probably come out about it, and then talk about it when I have as much information as possible. And if anything else gets added on, it either gets added on and I don't talk about it, or if I decide to do an update, I'll do an update.
Right. This is why we tell our people, stop following around these white people that try to sound like you. Did y'all not get this lesson in 2024 when that white dude who was sitting there kissing y'all's ass, he was running around there in spaces, putting y'all over, and then we kind of find out that he was just using y'all to sabotage. Why are we using this Florida man to do it? You know how Florida get down.
Yeah.
They don't like y'all. But you know, they gotta. I understand that the content is out there. I understand it, and the money's out there. All money, not good money.
Exactly.
Leave it alone. But you know, y'all had y'all family moment. I just wanted to bring it from that perspective. I'm finishing up this Pearl debate. It's bad. We gonna have fun in the morning.
Oh my God. I already saw a little bit of it, and it's like I was laughing more than anything. It's hilarious. It's sad, but it's hilarious.
But the funnier part is her response to it. That's where we're gonna have the laughs.
I know. Oh, listen. Oh, you talk about the part when she said she wanted to. I'm not gonna say it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're gonna play it in the morning. It was hilarious.
Yeah, that was crazy.
But I'm going to live, and y'all go live. It's Wednesday. Go out and home something. You heard what I said.
I appreciate you coming up.
Yep.
All right, shout out to KG for coming up. And this is the last person. So if anyone sees the link in the chat, which I probably don't, because it's probably well up in the chat, it's probably off the screen at this point. But Key 5, what's going on?
How you doing, brother? You can hear me right?
I can hear you.
All right, it's pronounced K5, but a lot of people mess it up in America.
Is there anyone else that say Key 5 too?
Yeah, Dimitri K does that too. The only person that got it right was Seiji Hito.
Okay, my bad. K5. I'll try to remember.
You good, brother? No, you good. You good. Yeah, about Lucas. Yo, yeah, you right about him trying to get a seat at the table because he sound like a coin flipper Roland Martin a lot of the times. And that dude, I don't trust nobody that show a whole bunch of memes. That's a big conformist culture right there with memes. It's a whole lot to turn your brain off and just fall off.
Yeah, and I try. You know what? I'm gonna be honest with you. I tried to give him the benefit of the doubt because I know he made his pivot after what happened with
when that stuff blew up in his face.
With all the stuff that happened with I think it was Breonna Taylor and Ahmaud Arbery. When he saw the response and how people was with that, and we know because that's when he was still on that side and he saw what was going on. That's when he started to make that pivot from what he was doing over there to start actually kind of being on code a little bit. I still kind of gave him a little side eye. I didn't like subscribe to him off of that or anything like that. But then time passed, and I was like, wait a minute, he's making a change. And what made me see it as, or what I thought as organic at the time was because remember, for those of you who don't know, at the time when all of that happened, Lucas was like over 500,000 subscribers. I knew it was the change happened when he
started dropping
so many subscribers. I mean, overnight, he went from like 500 something thousand subscribers, and he dropped way back below 400K in like a week's time because they did not like that turn that he made after those situations and how he responded. They basically wanted him to respond to that how Fakem would have done it. You know how Fakem would have what he said. But he lost all those subscribers, and it took him a while. And I do mean when I say a while, it took him months, probably over a year, to get back out of that slump that he hit when he did that. Now his numbers, of course, went back up and they're surpassed where they were once at. But now it's like after this recent election that happened, the most recent one, where Trump getting back in, that's when it started to now he's pivoting again to something else. And then now you see this.
Right on that one. Oh, what was his damn video about that we just watched last? Yeah, but usually his solution is vote Democrat, then hold them to the fire. It's like, no, we got to hold them now first before we give them any votes.
Mm-hmm.
They owe us policies at this point before they even get a vote.
Yeah.
That's it. That was it right there.
Oh, okay. I wasn't sure, but thanks for coming up.
All right, be good.
All right, shout out to K5. Wanted to make sure I had it right for coming up. But so yeah, that's gonna bring this live to a close. Shout out to everybody who came up and spoke. I appreciate you. Shout out to Professor Wonderful and Samuel Bryant for contributing to the super chat. Shout out to all the mods, all the members, everybody on Patreon and those in the Discord. Again, if you haven't joined the Discord, please do so, because again, if you don't get notified over here, you will most definitely get notified over there. The next live I will do will be the weekly recap on Saturday at 3 p.m. We got quite a few things to discuss on that one, as we usually do. There will be a video coming tomorrow. I'm going to put the premiere window up as soon as I get off of here. With that being said, y'all enjoy the rest of your evening. Be safe, stay warm, but most importantly, be one.